So a bit about myself, which I've kind of already covered as a leader from Bournemouth. We're going to be going through the Girl Scout Jamboree for 2023. A couple of slides on what's going to be covered. Let's introduce you to what that journey is going to look like.
Cool. So we obviously understand that the last sort of 18 months or so has been a pretty tough time for most people, us included in that, of course. We're going to try this evening to show you what the next sort of 18-month, 2-year journey that we're embarking on looks like, and what it could look like for you guys if you were to join us on that journey as well.
I'm going to ask you to make some changes. It's going to be a chance for you to do some things that you're seeing on screen. Dream big, dream wild, and hopefully a chance for you to get to South Korea for a World Jamboree.
So here's a bit of a run through of tonight's agenda. We will all introduce ourselves, and more importantly, introduce to you what a World Scout Jamboree is all about. There's quite a few abbreviations, so we will clarify some of them. We're going to show you some videos of previous World Scout Jamborees, and also an insight into the sort of promotional material for the one we're all hoping to go on in South Korea. And then we want to show you how you can dream big and show your stripes. And there will be questions and answers. Feel free to type things into the chat box, and then we'll come to them at the end.
Excellent. So a little bit of an introduction as to what we're talking about, first of all. Some of you may already know what a World Scout Jamboree is, but for any of you that don't know what it is, or maybe a little bit cloudy on it, a World Scout Jamboree is a massive scout event that takes place every 4 years, and it's the biggest event in World Scouting. It's think of the normal scout camp maybe that you've been on, a summer camp or something like that, times it by 1 million, and you're somewhere close to having a World Scout Jamboree. They are attended by over 40,000 people from all over the world, and that is actually from more countries than attend the Olympics. So it is a really huge event, and they are fantastic fun. We're also going to speak a little bit about a unit. So a unit consists of 40 people in total, which is made up of 4 leaders and 36 young people. This is then further split down into into patrols of 1 leader and 9 young people. We're lucky enough in Dorset to have 2 units going to attend the World Scout Jamboree, the next one that's happening in Korea. We have Unit 79, which is Kevin's unit, and we have Unit 80, which is my unit. My unit is a little bit different. It's made up of half of scouts from Dorset, and the other half of the unit is made up of scouts from the Channel Islands, which is pretty exciting.
The next slide is really about the vision and setting what World Scout Jamboree is all going to be about. On screen at the moment, you can see the stripes, you can see that very bright yellow, and the tiger. The tiger has been something that's been put together by the UK's youth-shaped contingent team. They've put that together with help from different faiths and communities, and it's going to be, as I say, the mascot, the brand, if you like, for the UK contingent. The design's been based on Korea's national animal, the Siberian tiger. It symbolises bravery, boldness, warmth, and compassion. And with all that in mind, the team came up with a theme, which is Draw Your Dream. But it's not just about drawing that dream, it's about acting upon it. And then from there, they've come up with Dream Big, Dream Wild, Dream Together, and Dream Green. The stripes, well, the stripes are where you'll hear us start talking about show your stripes. And it's about you now showing everybody else and us what you're capable of doing. It's that being brave, being bold, showing warmth, compassion, and acting upon those dreams. The World Scout Jamboree, as we've already discussed, is about having fun and about finding your inner tiger, being proud and actually taking hold of this journey that you potentially got in front of you. Let's meet the team. As we've mentioned, there are 2 units. going to South Korea. I'm leader of one of those units, Unit 79, made entirely of the Dorset section of the 2 units. I have 3 other people helping me on the journey. I have Ian and Rich and Claire, who are both in the call at the moment. A bit about myself. I've been an explorer leader just over 15 years, involved in scouting all through my life. I've done a couple of international scout camps, Austria and Belgium. I haven't done a Jamboree. This is going to be my first, but forms part of many other scout camps that I've organised and been part of. Pass you over to my deputy, Ian, who's going to do a bit of an intro for himself.
Hiya, I'm an explorer leader from Weymouth. I've been lucky enough to go to 2 previous Jamborees, once in '98 as a youth participant to Chile, and again in 2011 as an assistant leader to the Jamboree that was in Sweden.
Excellent. Thank you, Ian. I've also got Rich, who is one of my assistant leaders.
Hello, I'm Rich. I'm obviously one of the other leaders of the team. I've been a scout pretty much all of my life. I'm now an explorer scout leader. Again, like Kevin, I've not done a Jamboree before, but I have been part of 2 explorer belts to Madagascar in the past, and my real passion is the international side of scouting.
Excellent. And then we got Claire.
Hello, I'm Claire and I'm an Explorer Scout leader in Charmouth. I've got 2 young girls that are in Scouts, well not that young, and I've helped them with a lot of fundraising before for another expedition they were on. So I know the parent side of it as well as the leader side of it. I've not been on a overseas expedition before, but I've done a lot of my own traveling, and I'm just really excited to actually take some young people on this adventure.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Claire. I'm going to pass you over to Charlie to introduce his team.
I've already introduced myself. My name's Charlie. It says on the screen there that I'm also known as Pikey. That is because my surname is Pike for no other reason, just to clear that one up out of the way first of all. I am the unit leader for Unit 80, which is made up of Dorset and the Channel Island Scouts. I have been a scout leader and a group scout leader in Bournemouth for about 6 years. And that's at the same group that I've grown up in as a beaver, a cub and a scout all the way through. I've been lucky enough to go on plenty of national and international scout camps during that time as a young person and a leader, including the last 2 World Scout Jamborees. So yeah, I've got a fair bit of experience when it comes to these things. I've also got my deputy unit leader, who is Stuart, who's on the call with us this evening as well.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Stuart. I am the deputy unit leader for Unit 80. I've been involved in scouting for most of my life. I went through the system. I'm now a scout leader in Christchurch. I lead the scout troop in Burton, which is great fun. I've also been involved in a variety of international trips and events. I was fortunate enough to attend the 18th World Scout Jamboree in the Netherlands in 1995, when everything was in black and white and all of this was fields. It's the single most exciting scouting event that I have had the opportunity to be involved in, and that's really why I wanted to get involved with this Jamboree and just to sort of share that with the next generation of young people. In my day job as well, I'm actually a teacher. I'm a languages teacher, which means I've got a lot of experience of running international trips with groups of young people, ferrying people through airports and finding passports and dealing with luggage and all that sort of caper. It's literally is my day job, so I've got plenty of experience in that sort of field too.
Real. And then finally, we've also got Kaylee, who is our assistant unit leader. She has been in scouting for a few years or so, and she is actually a scout over on the island of Guernsey. She can't be with us this evening because she is a nurse, so she works shift patterns, but she definitely wanted to come along and talk to you all as well. And then last on the screen, you can see that our fourth and final assistant leader is currently to be confirmed. That will be a leader from the island of Jersey, and we're still waiting on confirmation of who that will be so far. So there's just the 3 of us at the moment.
Thank you, Charlie. So the next couple of slides are a couple of videos from the previous Jamborees. We've got two videos, one from America, which will be the next one up, and then another one from Japan. Japan. Normally at this point we'd jump in with a young person who's already been out on one of the jamborees. Charlie, as he's already mentioned, has been on one, and he'll get a chance to probably talk about some of his experiences on a later slide as well, along with Stuart as well. So we'll come back to that a bit later. So we're going to jump straight into another video, which is actually a bit more relevant to this evening, because it's actually going on about what we're going to be doing or potentially doing out on the 2023 World Scout Jamboree.
In August 2023, a new world opens. A fun festival held for 12 days. The dream of youth around the world to Seimangum. Draw your dream. 2023 Seimangum 25th World Scout Jamboree. A gift from nature, a living and breathing treasure, a mysterious story that has held for tens of thousands of years. Beautiful heritage awaits you. On the stage of passion and dreams, having a happy dream. 2023 Seimangum 25th World Scout Jamboree. In the endlessly unfolding Seimangum, dreams of youth bloom in a new way. Mountains, sea, through thrilling adventures on the river, through delicious experiences, through a fun experience. beyond pleasure to newness. Only at the 2023 Seamangum 25th Scout Jamboree. Smarter, safer, enjoy more conveniently. Festival of Scouts around the world. 2023 Seamangum 25th World Scout Jamboree. Now, here as one dream. Meet the Festival of Unity. 2023 Seamangum 25th World Scout Jamboree. Preparation for the future of youth around the world. A bigger world will open in 2023. Draw your dream. 2023 Seamangum 25th World Scout Jamboree.
What we got coming up next? Anyone going to take this one?
I can take this one. The World Scout Jamboree, what do we know so far? We don't know all of the information yet. Things are still coming out. We're finding out a lot more information as time goes on, and we're going to be sharing that with people as soon as we find things out. But what we do know so far, first of all, is that the event will be happening, as you heard on the video about 18 times. It's happening in August 2023. It will be happening during school holidays, so for parents amongst you, and indeed for my boss, it's a good thing that we're not taking any time off of school. It will be taking up a period of the summer holidays in 2023. Also, as you are all going to be very aware, the Scouts is a particular, it's an inclusive organisation. No matter what kind of medical conditions you may have, or any other sort of situations that you might need some sort of assistance with, obviously that need not be any kind of barrier to getting involved and signing up for the 25th World Scout Jamboree in Seamangum in Korea. We want to take a totally inclusive team, and we look forward to inviting you to the selection event.
So, other things that we know. So we do know the exact dates of the actual Jamboree, and that's the 1st to the 12th of August. But what usually happens on previous trips is that there is a few days before and probably a bit of time afterwards where people get to also experience other aspects of the country. And the host nation will host the Scouts as well at some point, again, probably before or afterwards. So that means really that you need to allow at least 3 weeks to be aware that that's roughly how long it would be. There's different opportunities depending on your age, but the main focus of this presentation is for people who are actually of the right age group to attend the actual Jamboree as young people. There are also some other opportunities. The other thing, which is obviously something which we are very much aware people are often worried about, is the amount that it costs to go. The first thing to say is that we don't want this to be a reason for people not to sign up. It is a lot of money, but we are going to work together as a team and with all the young people and the families to help raise the money. And we've all had experience of fundraising, and we know lots of different ways to help. So the amount we are looking at is about £3,500 to £4,000. But one thing is to remember that is everything covered. That will cover the selection weekend, all the training weekends, it will cover your flights, it will cover your accommodation while you're out there, and your food, and also kit that we need, tents, t-shirts, bags, all sorts of things. So really, apart from a bit of spending money, you shouldn't need to worry about anything else. So like I say, what we don't want to do is for anybody to go away from this and think that they can't possibly achieve that amount of fundraising, because we know that you can, and we're here to help you.
Cool.
So,
So I'll kick off.
Oh yeah, you carry on, Charlie. That's
Yeah,
fine.
we'll split it. I'll do up to Culture Day. So a little bit of information more on the Jamboree then. Hopefully you saw in that video that just went of the Korean Jamboree that we're going to. There is a wide variety of lots of different adventurous activities that will hopefully take place and that we'll be able to be a part of, like there was canoeing on there and a zip wire and climbing and all sorts of different things like that. Every Jamboree is different. So the Jamborees I've been to in the past, the last Jamboree was in America, and the site there was a specifically built Jamboree site, which was described to us before we went as the Disneyland for Scouts. And when we got there, it was very much like that. They had absolutely everything on site. Korea, I imagine, is going to be slightly different. There will probably be day trips off of site as well, and there'll also be lots of drop-in activities that aren't sort of structured. So there's things like the Culture Development Centre, which each country that attends the Jamboree has their own sort of area where they do a show of their culture, for which you can sort of drop in and take part in. The other huge part of the Jamborees, as mentioned, it's almost Olympic in scale, is the ceremonies. Just like the Olympics, there's a humongous opening ceremony to celebrate the start of the event, where they walk down into the ceremony with all the flags of the different countries that are attending. There's live entertainment, there's fireworks, there's light shows, absolutely everything. And it is just this massive party of sort of excitement and readiness for the event to come. And it is a fantastic thing to be a part of. Similarly then, bookending the other end of the event is a closing ceremony, which is a little more sort of reflective of the time that we've spent there together and everything that you've done there, but equally is still an enormous party like atmosphere where everyone is celebrating the time that they've had and the memories that they've made and the new friends that they've met along the way. Again, more fireworks than you can shake a stick at, live entertainment, the absolute works, and they are fantastic things to be a part of. I'll pass over to Stu to cover the other sort of things that a Jamboree includes as well.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks, Charlie. The Culture Day is a massive part of the gig too. It's sort of right in the middle of the time that you spend on the Jamboree site, in between the opening and closing ceremonies. And the Cultural Day is an opportunity to get to know the cultures of all the other countries that are attending the World Jamboree. As Charlie has already mentioned, you've got the global village that where the pavilions are set up, you know, permanently, that you can go and immerse yourself in different cultures and try different food or whatever you want to do. But on the Culture Days, you know, especially the thing you want to go and experience is to actually take a walk around the different sub-camps and visit people on their own sites, because every unit that goes out to the World Jamboree will take some of their own individual local culture with them. So for example, in 1995, when I attended the Jamboree as a young person, before we went, we all learned to Morris dance, which I can assure you was really quite mystifying for a lot of people. It looks ridiculous, and it was a lot of fun getting people to have a go at that. And the other thing that we did was we learned how to make Dorset buttons. So we had a little bit of a drop-in workshop with people tying Dorset buttons. And that was a lot of fun, you know, sitting down with a chap from Japan who had no English. I had no Japanese, but you know, we still managed to work together and communicate. I taught him how to do it, and you know, by the end he had a Dorset button stitched onto his uniform shirt. It was fantastic. Socializing, obviously, when you are off doing the activities, structured or drop in, you know, you are with scouts from all around the world, and it's an incredible experience to socialize, to meet people, and you know, swap neckerchiefs and swap badges with people from all across the world. You really will come back with bags of merch and swag that you've swapped with other people. It's a fantastic thing. And then when you're not doing activities, there is plenty of free time to just go and wander around, make friends, smile at people, get to know people, make contact with people. The last Jamboree in the United States, everyone was issued with wristbands, which sort of automatically, when you met people, you would, you know, bump your wristband together and you'd share information. So if, you know, later on you could contact people with the information that was gathered on your electronic wristband. Obviously, a unit of 40 people is going to be needing some feeding, so that's something that we will be doing for ourselves on the sub camp. Eating together as a unit, we will have to organize our menu, we'll have to do the shopping, we'll have to organize the food, have to collect everything, and obviously prepare food. But for me, one of the best things is eating with other people as well. It's not just an event where you know, stick to your own campsite and that's where you will remain. If you make friends from Chile just on the campsite next door, bring them over for dinner. If you know, get invited to some Australian scouts campsite for some grub, you know, they'll be throwing some shrimp on the barbie or something. Get over there because it's fantastic. One of my abiding memories was, and I know that Charlie did the same thing, we set up our dinner tables in one of the pathways outside our sub camp, so we were right out in the public area, and that's where we had our dinner one night. And you know, we invited all the passers-by to come and take a meal with us if they wanted to, and you know, we ended up with people from, you know, 20 or 30 different countries sat around the table all together sharing a meal, and it was absolutely fantastic.
So we've talked a little bit about the actual Jamboree and past Jamborees and things like that. What I'm going to go through now is the potential journey that you could now be embarking on if you decide to apply to come. It starts off really with after the selection camp as well. We'll start off this story of a journey, and you've been selected and you've got the information of that first meeting with your unit, and you go along and you might be a little bit nervous, you might be a little bit worried that you won't know anyone or something like that, and you arrive and the one person that you made friends with at the selection camp is there, or somebody who is part of your district and you didn't know that they'd got selected, they're there. And it's a fantastic feeling. You're getting to see them, you're getting to meet everyone else in your unit that's been selected and the leaders, and it's a fantastic first sort of experience of the Jamboree to come. Leading off from there, you will start your fundraising journey. Obviously, we've mentioned that massive sum of money that I'm sure you're all sort of still a little bit gobsmacked about. But a humongous part of the Jamboree journey is fundraising that money to go, and it is such a fantastic and fun experience to fundraise as well. That'll be in sort of smaller groups, maybe with the other people in your districts that are also attending the event. It might be on your own with your family and your friends, or it could be with your own scout groups and things like that, who will be more than happy to help you along that journey too. The other massive part of the journey before the Jamboree is the training camps. Training camps will be put in place for us to get to know the young people that are selected, and for the young people to get to know us as leaders, and for the whole team to be able to sort of get to know each other and work out how we sort of gel as a team and prepare ourselves for this incredible journey that we're then going to take to a foreign country for 3 weeks. It is a massive thing that we're embarking off, and those training camps are a crucial part of the entire experience. And again, such a fun part of the experience as well. Getting to go away and camp with those people and getting to know them is brilliant. It all comes to a sort of crescendo at that point to actually going to Korea and going on the Jamboree and going to new cities and meeting people from a country that you never knew even existed. And it's this absolutely incredible experience that you can't get anywhere else. That's what the Jamboree's like. It's very, very difficult to explain, but that's what I'd go with. At the end of that experience, it may feel like it has come to an end and that there's not really anything else beyond that, and you get this sort of Jamboree blues, we call it, where you've come home and you've had this massive experience and it is now a little bit, oh, what's next? But that doesn't have to be a bad thing, and the Jamboree journey can still continue on past at the actual going to career in 2023. So going away and sharing your experience with people, particularly young people in scouting who might get the opportunity to go to the next World Scout Jamboree. As Kevin mentioned earlier, on some of the roadshows we've done, we've had young people who went to the last Jamboree come along and talk about their experiences with it, and essentially tell everyone why they should want to go, because they've been and they know exactly what it's all about. So that's a massive part of continuing on the Jamboree. Similarly with myself, Stu, Ian, who have all been to Jamborees in the past, going to one doesn't have to be the end. If you go on to be an adult leader in scouting, you could be a part of the next generation's journey to go to another Jamboree, which again is a whole new experience in itself, and a fantastic one at that. There's also then the last thing that we'll speak about is unit reunion camps. So this is a little bit similar to the training camps maybe, but it's when you come back from the Jamboree, maybe there's a few months that have passed and you're sort of the memories of the Jamboree are a little bit distant now, and maybe there's people that are in your unit you've not seen since getting off that coach and going home. So to be able to go away again and spend more time with those people and share those memories again is a really crucial and fantastic part of the journey. So yeah, all in all, as I said at the beginning, this is a possible journey that you may take from this point of deciding to come and hopefully being selected. So I hope that sounded great.
So we know everyone's experience is going to be unique. You're all sat here listening to us chat about what the Jamboree is going to be like and seeing the slides and seeing the videos. There are some things that you're going to need to know. First of all, as a leadership team, we're going to be here to support you. We're going to push some boundaries for sure. You're going to learn some new things. We're also going to create some opportunities. You're definitely going to make some memories. Also, though, you are likely to feel overwhelmed. There's a lot going on. You will have to push yourself. You'll need to go the extra mile. There'll be some highs and possibly experience some lows. But the whole part of this journey will also mean that you'll have some new friends and you'll experience all these things together with these new friends who are also experiencing the same things. The most important part of it all is it's going to be an experience of a lifetime. It's going to be something that at this moment in time, it's the only opportunity you're going to have to be able to get to go on a World Scout Jamboree as a participant. It's time to challenge yourself, show the stripes that we've been talking about, come along to the selection weekend and start the journey with us. Don't particularly like this slide. COVID-19, we're going to have to talk about it. It's something we're going to have to mention. We're not going to ignore it. We definitely can't do that. But what we are going to do is work as hard as we can to make sure that it doesn't impact anything we're doing on the lead up to us going out to South Korea. And indeed, any of the training events that Charlie spoke about as well earlier. We're going to listen to anything that Scout Association say that we need to adhere to. And again, if there's anything that then gets passed down from the government, we'll work in the safest way possible, listening to any of the suggestions that we need to do and adhere to.
So tonight on the call, you are meeting the team who will be looking after the young people and taking the journey with them. But what we wanted to explain to you is there is a massive amount of support as well. The contingent support team are the ones that providing us with lots of the materials we need for this, a lot of the background help in the UK, as well as the contingent management team. And there's sort of nearly 100 of those. Then more importantly is the international service team. Well, not more importantly, also is the international service team. And they will be also going to South Korea. And we're looking at around 900 people who will be there to do everything you can possibly think of in the background. So imagine any sort of large festival or event. There are people sorting out the catering, sorting out electrics, sorting out a craft tent, all sorts of things. And they will be there as well to help. And that is an opportunity for young people. If they don't meet the age requirements to actually go as a young person, that's another opportunity. And the applications for the international service team are opening in November. And so that's something else you can share with anybody who is maybe not here tonight or thinking about that they'd love to have done this and they wish they hadn't missed out. There are other opportunities.
So the next steps, what do we need you guys to do now? We want you to dream big. We want you to watch this and think, wow, that looks amazing. Because as Charlie says, it really is impossible for us to describe how a jamboree feels. It's just an experience. You have to have been to one to really know what it means. And yes, you will find it difficult to put it into words too. Your first step is obviously come along to a roadshow. So that's a big tick for you guys this evening, listening to us. Next thing we need you to do is to find your inner tiger and fill in the application form. We have an application form, or an expression of interest form, if you like, which is available on the Dorset Scouts County website. If you follow that URL, or indeed at the end of the presentation, there's a QR code which you'll be able to scan using your phone. That will take you straight to the website where the application form is available. The deadline for filling in the form is the 22nd of October, so you've got a little bit of time to have a look at the questions and think about how best to answer them. I do want to say about the form, it's not part of the selection process itself. We're not going to go through and rank people's applications. It's more about us finding out a little bit about you as an individual, what makes you tick and how you think. So yeah, there is also a request. We would like you to upload a selfie so we can identify you when you turn up at the selection camp. But then, being young people, I'm sure you're pretty okay with taking selfies. Then after that, we will get back in touch with you guys with all the information that's required for the selection event. Kit lists, permission to camp forms, any sort of dietary requirements, all of that sort of thing. So we'll get back in contact with everyone that applies and invite you to attend our selection weekend, which takes place at Budden Scout Camp in Wareham on the 6th and the 7th of November. It will be an overnight camp, and it's totally free of charge, as already been said. That's all included in the price. Now, you might be a little bit concerned. You might think, wow, selection event, it's a bit of an interview, isn't it? Yeah, it is. But we don't want you to overthink that. We want you to just be you, get involved, dream big, show your stripes and be brave and bold and, really sort of throw yourself into it. We haven't really got a set idea of, the people that we want to take with us. We're open to everything, but we do know that we need a group of young people that get on well with each other. They support each other. They're easy to get along with. They're sensible, but they're not afraid of taking risks, and they're willing to try new things and be adventurous. Things that we're not particularly looking for are young people who, are able to tie 8 different knots in 35 seconds, or start a fire using 2 sharpened sticks in a minute and a half. If you've memorized the entire text of Scouting for Boys by Baden Powell, well done you, but it's not the sort of thing that we're looking for. If that is what floats your boat, then well done, you do you, but that's not the sort of thing that we're requiring. We're not after super scouty scouts. We're after a bunch of young people that we really want to take to Korea for 3 weeks and have a great time with. So After the selection event and you've showed your stripes, then obviously we as a leadership team will get together and go through everyone's scoring and how people behaved and performed on the selection event. We'll make our decisions based on that. Hopefully at the end of that, you'll be coming out on the right side and you'll be identified as one of the 54 young people who will be invited to represent Dorset as members of units 79 and 80.
Thanks, Steve. So we're going to go into another video. This video is an opportunity really for you to send us any questions that you've got about what you've seen so far or heard about. It's about 3 minutes long, so if you have got anything, pop it into the chat and the leadership team will have a look through. And at the very end of the presentation, we'll go through those questions as well and give you some feedback. So we've had a couple of questions coming in. Before we move on to the final part of that, then just some bits and pieces about how you can get hold of us. We have as a team email address which you can reach out to us on. We're also on the social medias. we have somehow managed to get as far as TikTok, which I'm still not quite sure about, but we'll see what happens with that in future weeks as we hit into the selection weekend.
I'm excited. I don't know about you.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. There's also some hashtags there. If you are going to look at joining in with us, we'd ask that you include those 2 hashtags. That enables us to keep an eye on what's going on in Dorset, and the UK contingent as well can see what's going on, and we can see what's happening. Cool. We're going to move into question time now. Charlie's going to start us up, I think, with the first one when he unmutes himself.
Yes, I'm back. Hello. So the first question was, how many young people are you expecting at the selection weekend? Currently, we're on about 60 applications we've received. There are still about 9 or 10 days left to go until the deadline for applications. So we're hoping to definitely hit the 100 mark, and hopefully beyond that also, but the truth is we don't know, but hopefully as I say, over the 100 mark would be nice. I'm also going to take the proportion of scouts are in the younger age range, because that also sort of links into selection camp. So as previously mentioned, we don't have any particular selection criteria for the 54 that will be chosen. We want as broad a spectrum and as widespread as possible, really. We want a good mix of people that can gel well together. If that means that all of them will be of the older age range, probably not very likely. I would imagine that we'll have a good even spread across all age ranges.
So this was always going to happen, and there was always a risk that something else was going to happen at the same weekend that we were looking at running our selection weekend. If you are unable to make it for whatever reason, or there is a prior engagement that means you're going to be late out to site, I'm not going to lie, that is going to possibly have some amount of impact to the selection process and just the way that's working for us. But if you contact us and on a case-by-case basis, we'll review that and see how we can make that work as well. Do you know what time the selection camp is from and to? So you've got the dates. Stu is very kindly putting up all the links at the moment for us. So you've got the date. The time of starting is, and I need to remember this, I think we said 9 o'clock, or it was an 8 o'clock start, ready for 9 o'clock. And we'll be finishing on the Sunday at around 3 p.m. But there'll be further information sent out to you once you've completed the application form, or the interest in attending the selection weekend.
Yeah, so just to further what Kev said, we're basically having the arrival time as a period of time rather than saying that you must be there at 9 o'clock, just because we're aware that obviously people will be coming from all across the county. So there's an arrival time between 8:30 and 9, and we will be doing then flag break at 9:30, which will be the sort of official start point of the weekend.
Covered the ages. So, I mean, there are no more questions at the moment that we can see, but off the last couple of, or the first link that was there that Stu's put on the group chat, there is details of FAQs and some other bits, and there'll also be, hopefully, either by the end of this evening or tomorrow, a recording of this presentation, so you can certainly have a look back and see if there's anything else you need to get in touch with us over. That's it from us. I hope that you have picked up some new, given you the information you need, for one. Two, that there is interest and that you're going to sit down and take a few minutes to work out what you're going to write in the application form and the process for that. And really, from us and the leadership team, we hope to see you on the selection weekend. So it is the 6th and 7th of November for selection weekend. Again, those details are on the website, but if you do have any further questions, by all means pop them in the chat. We'll hang around for a bit longer after the presentation. Yeah, so we hope to see you at the selection weekend. Show your stripes, be bold, be brave, dream big, and see you at the weekend.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for coming. And as Kev said, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to stick around, and you can talk to us if you want to unmute yourself or just put it in the chat, whatever suits you.